Okay, grammar explanation. Recording. Is it recording? Yeah. Here we go. I'll use this thing. Here we go. Let's talk about linkers today. Oh, God. Let's talk about linkers today. Linkers. And as you saw, there are 4 types. Result, reason, purpose, and contrast. Yeah, 4 types of linkers that I want you to master today. Let's talk about result first. Result. Maybe I'll use this one. Let's talk about result linkers. I'll give you a sentence. Black. It says, that job caught my eye. That job caught my eye. So I've applied. That job caught my eye, so I've applied. What is the linker here? So is the linker. What is it expressing? It is expressing result. Yeah. So introducing a result or logical connection. Let me explain here. Yeah? Introducing a result or logical connection. Sorry about my handwriting. Logical. Sorry. Logical. Introducing a result or logical connection. So, okay, that is quite easy, yeah? So. However, we could change so for something else. We could say, for example, that job caught my eye. That job caught my eye. The same sentence, yeah? That job caught my eye. Period. Period. As a result, comma, I have applied. You could also say therefore, comma, I have applied. You can also say consequently, comma, I have applied. What is the difference between so and these ones? These ones, the function is the same. So is to introduce a result. As a result, therefore and consequently are the same. They also introduce a result. The purpose, the function is the same. Result. What is the difference? As you can see here, you just have a comma. But here, you can stop the sentence and then make a new one. And notice here, stop, new sentence, comma, stop, new sentence, comma, stop, new sentence, comma. So the meaning is the same, but be careful. Here you can just have it after a comma, and here normally you begin a new sentence. So far so good? Okay, which one would you say is more formal? So or these 3? These 3. Also be careful. These 3 are more formal. For some reason it changes color, you see? These 3 are more formal. Okay, let's continue. Next page. Next page. Let me give you another sentence. Let's talk now about reason. Okay, be careful because you can also say this. You can also say this. I have therefore the other two were As a result, thank you. And the other one? Consequently, thank you very much. And the rest of the sentence was applied for the job. Okay, be careful because these linkers that refer to result can also be inserted not only at the beginning, as we said before, but can also be inserted before the main verb. Before the main verb. There is another possible collocation at the beginning of the sentence with a comma, as we said before, or before the main verb. That's another place you can put them or place them. So far, so good. Very good. Okay, now let's talk about reason. Reason, 25% of the explanation has been done, 75% left. And what time is it? We don't have a clock, do we? What time is it? Okay. Quarter to 6. We still have 45 minutes and 75% of the explanation left. We can do it. Let's talk about results. I'll give you a sentence. She will give me the job. Reason, sorry. Talk about reason. She will give me the job. She will give me the job. Okay, the most obvious word here, yeah? She will give me the job. I have qualifications. Sorry, yeah, qualifications. Okay, the most obvious word is because. Because is the king. Because is the king of reason, yeah? That is to introduce reason, yeah? To introduce reason. Any other possibilities? And then after because, what is this? What is this? I have qualifications. Sorry. Perhaps I should write it down here. Because I have qualifications. Yeah? Because is the king linker to introduce the reason for something. Any other possibilities apart from because? Sorry? That is wrong, I'm sorry. Well, that would be wrong. I will explain it later. If you say due to I have qualifications, that's a typical mistake, typical B1, B2 mistake that we'll correct here in C1, don't worry. It's normal then. Any other substitute for because? What is this? I have qualifications. This is a clause. I have qualifications. What is a clause? A clause has a subject and a predicate. What is the subject of this clause? I. What is the predicate? Have qualifications. Do you follow me? This is a clause. Substitute for because. I'll give it to you. As I have qualifications. She will give me the job. As I have qualifications. That's perfect. After as, you can have a clause. After because, you can have a clause. Another one, since. Be careful because since can also mean desde. Yeah, since 1982. But here means because. Since I have qualifications. That's another use of since. Another one, seeing as. For some reason, the color changes. Seeing as I have qualifications. And another one, these are very formal. Seeing that. Seeing that I have qualifications. So because is number one. But apart from because, you have all these possibilities. As, since, seeing as, seeing that. And after them, they introduce reason, okay? Yeah? All of them introduce reason. And after them, what do we need? A clause. This is very important. After them, we need a clause. And what is a clause? A part of a sentence, and it has subject and predicate. Due to is not followed by a clause. Due to is followed by a noun. That's the key. I will explain later. So far, so good. Which ones are, what is the difference between because and this? These ones are very formal, okay? This one is very formal, especially this ones. Very formal. This one and this one, yeah? Very formal. Saying as, saying that. Those ones are very formal. Okay, and now let's talk about due to. And that would be the big difference. Next sentence. She'll give me the job. She'll give me the job. My qualifications. Is this a clause? No, this is not a clause. Does it have a subject and a predicate? No, because this is not a clause. What is this? This is a noun. This is a noun. My qualifications. This is a noun phrase. Yeah? Noun phrase. So here you can say, these are the magic words. Because of. Here you can also say, Alba, due to. Perfect. Due to. Very good. And you can also say owing to. Okay, due to and owing to, formal. Remember this. Due to and owing to, formal. So that is the biggest difference. Due to, noun. Owing to, noun. Because of, noun. If you only say because, what do you need after it? A clause. Because of? Noun phrase. That is the big difference. That is something that you should remember, because of the fact that, okay, you could also use because of the fact that. That's another possibility. The fact that. The fact that. The fact that. So you can say things like, because of the fact, I will continue here. The fact that I have qualifications. This is also okay. So you can use just a noun, or you can use the fact that plus clause. Clause. The fact that plus clause. So she'll give me the job due to the fact that I have qualifications. And what is I have qualifications? What is this? A clause. Why is it a clause? Because it has a subject and a predicate. So two options. Due to noun, or due to the fact that, and then a clause. Is that clear? So far so good? Okay, so this is quite important, yeah guys? I want you to remember that. And let's move on to the next page. Now let's talk about purpose. 50% of the explanation that. let's talk about purpose. I went to the UK, okay? I went to the UK. Oop. I went to the UK. Purpose. Practice my English. Okay, what is the best or the most common word to introduce purpose? To. To, this is to introduce purpose. To practice my English. Other possibilities? In order to. Another possibility? Okay, this is difficult. So as to. This one is difficult. So as to. Yeah? So as to. So as to. So I went to the UK to practice my English. Introduce purpose. Other possibilities, in order to, so as to. And they are more formal. Which ones are more formal? In order to, so as to. How can you make it negative? The first sentence. Can you transform it into a negative sentence? Anybody? I went to the UK.
In order to not practice my English.
Almost. Okay, possibility 1, possibility 2, possibility 3. Possibility 1, negative.
No.
2 with negative.
No.
Not 2. So you have to say, let me see. If I do this with my hand, does it get erased? I just discovered it right now. I never read any instructions. Not to. In order to, how can you make it negative? Wow.
In order not to.
In order not to, very good. In order not to. And this one, maybe it would be easier if I do this. Oops, this is not an eraser. Oh yes, it is. Negative for so as to.
So as not to.
So as not to, very good. So as not to. So as not to. Did I use any auxiliary verb? No. No need for auxiliary verbs. You just say not, and not. Where is not before to? Not to, not to, not to. That is the way you negate. What time is it? Oh, I took it. Okay, we still have, we have half an hour. We're good, yeah? Half an hour. 50%, 60% done. So far, so good? Questions? No questions. Okay, another sentence. So that. Next page. She went to London so that she could practice her English. Okay. She went to London so that she could practice her English. Okay, what is this? This is purpose again, yeah? What is the purpose in this sentence?
So that.
So that. She went to London so that she could practice her English. So that here is expressing purpose. In Spanish we would say con el fin de. Yeah? Con el fin de. So that she could practice her English. This that can be optional. So I put it in between brackets, between parentheses. So that she could practice her English. Okay, she went to London so that she could practice her English. So what do we have here? So that, and after so that, what do we have? What is this after so that? A clause, excellent. A clause with a subject and a predicate. Not only that, that clause with a subject and a predicate is composed of could, but you could also have things like will, can, will, can, or yeah, will, can, could, will, would, also would. So it's a clause with could, will, can, or would. In this case, with could. But you can find it with other modal verbs such as those. So that introduces purpose, and then a clause with a modal verb like this. Is that clear? Yep. Very good. Let's continue. Next example. I will have some cards in case they don't. Okay. I'll give you a sentence in Spanish. I want you to translate it in English for me. I'll give you a sentence in Spanish. I want you to translate it into English for me. Are you ready?
Voy a llevar efectivo por si acaso no aceptan tarjetas.
In English, please. Forget about the Spanish. Give it to me in English. Write down only English.
Voy a llevar efectivo por si acaso no aceptan tarjetas. How do you say that in English?
And carry cash in case they don't have. They don't accept.
I'll say I'll bring, yeah? I'll bring cash. And then the rest of it, you got it right, Danny. What is it?
I bring cash in case that. That they don't. They don't accept credit card.
Okay. I'll say in case. Oops. In case they don't accept cards. Okay, so in case here, again, in case is purpose, yeah? Again, this is purpose. And in English, in Spanish, it means por si acaso, in case. And after in case, what do we have? A clause. Why is this a clause? What was that? Why is this a clause? We have subject and predicate. Yeah? In case. So be ready for the future. In Spanish, por si acaso. Yeah? In English, be ready. Yeah? Be ready for the future. Yeah? Be ready for the future. Okay? 75% of the explanation has been done, only 25 left. Next page. Let's talk about contrast now. Contrast. Contrast. I'll give you a sentence. She went to London. She didn't practice her English. Okay, the most obvious contrast is this one. She went to London. Comma. She didn't practice her English. Okay, the most obvious contrast word is but. But is the most obvious word for introducing a contrast. Any other possibility? Okay, one more possibility apart from but is? Be careful, yeah? Be careful. Oops. Apart from but, another possibility that perfectly fits here would be yet. I'll explain why later, yeah? Yet, she didn't practice. Which one do you think is more formal? Yet is more formal. Okay, this is another meaning for yet. You studied yet in the past as todavía, yeah? I haven't finished yet. But yet also means but. And it's more formal. She went to London, yet she didn't practice. It means but, and it's more formal. Okay, there are other possibilities, but you would need to do it like this. She went to London, full stop. She went to London, full stop. However, comma, she didn't practice. Another possibility, no, nevertheless, comma, she didn't practice. And again, this is also contrast. However, and nevertheless, this is also contrast. What is the difference? That here you normally have a comma. Yeah, and here you stop the sentence. Here you stop the sentence, start the sentence, comma, and continue. Start a new sentence, comma, and continue. That is the difference. So far, so good? Okay, you can also say things like, she didn't practice. She didn't practice. We're still talking about contrast, yeah? Contrast. She didn't practice. She moved to London. She didn't practice. She moved. Sorry, moved, yeah? She moved to London. Okay, you can say, what are the three contrasts here? The three ways of contrasting. One of them is? Although, very good. Although, another one? Even though. And another one? Though. So three possibilities here. She didn't practice, although she moved. She didn't practice, even though she moved. She didn't practice, though she moved. So although, even though, though. So far, so good? Remember this. And where is the position of these ones? They are in the middle of a sentence. Yeah? How about in spite of and despite? Be careful with these ones. We can start a sentence like this. In spite of and despite. I'll give it to you with a mistake. I want you to correct the mistake. Despite or in spite of. This is a mistake, yeah? In spite of or despite. She was in London, comma, she didn't practice. This is wrong. What's the problem? Despite she was in London, she didn't practice. What is the problem there? Can you make it right? Does it sound good or sounds bad to you? Sounds bad, yeah? The problem is that this, right now, this is a clause with a subject and a predicate, but after in spite of and despite, no clause. I repeat, after in spite of and despite, no clause. So what do we need after them? A noun. So how can we say it? In spite of or despite, we need a noun or a noun phrase. So we can say in spite of her stay. This is a noun, yeah? Her stay in London. She didn't practice. In spite of being in London, comma, she didn't practice. In spite of the fact that. The fact that plus clause. That would be fine. The fact that plus clause. In spite of the fact that she was in London, she didn't practice. So after in spite of and despite, you need a noun phrase. For example, her stay. Or a gerund. For example, gerund. A gerund, for example, being. Or the fact that, and then a clause. This is what you need after in spite of and despite, not a clause. Oh, it's finished. How long did it take? Very long? This is the advanced level, guys. I'm sorry. Explanation has finished. So in spite of, and then a noun